Welcome to Love Science Today, the podcast where we explore modern relationships through psychology, sociology, philosophy, and real human behavior. Here we study attraction, intimacy, boundaries, and emotional safety in the age of digital connection. If you want to understand love on a deeper level, you are in the right place. Let us begin. Love Science Today's episode is titled, Why We Ignore Red Flags, the Psychology of Seeing but Not Seeing. You saw the signs, the inconsistency, the excuses, the discomfort in your gut, but you stayed. Why do we ignore red flags even when they are obvious to everyone around us? In this episode of Love Science Today, we explore the deeper psychology behind why people overlook warning signs in relationships and why awareness alone is rarely enough to change behavior. You will learn what red flags really are and why they are so incredibly easy to rationalize, the role of cognitive dissonance and how your brain tricks you into staying stuck, how your specific attachment style dictates the types of toxic patterns you tolerate, the sunk cost fallacy and why emotional investment distorts our judgment, why early warning signs often get mistakenly reframed as potential or quirks, practical, somatic steps to respond to red flags instead of explaining them away. If you have ever said, I knew something was off, but I stayed anyway, this episode will help you understand exactly why that happened and how to finally break the cycle. And I want you to think back to a relationship that ended badly. Not the middle of the relationship, not the painful breakup. I want you to travel all the way back to the very beginning, the first month. If you are completely, brutally honest with yourself, you saw it, didn't you? You saw the inconsistency. You noticed the little lie they told. You felt that weird, hollow dropping sensation in your stomach when they made that disrespectful joke and passed it off as humor. You saw the sign, but you painted it green. You told yourself you were overthinking. You told yourself they just had a bad day. You told your friends how amazing they were, carefully editing out the part that made you anxious. Welcome back to Love Science Today, where we do not just talk about relationships, we talk about the hidden psychological patterns behind them. I am your host, Kahinda Ojo. Today's topic is uncomfortable, but it is entirely necessary. We are talking about why we ignore red flags, because let us be honest, most people do not miss the signs. They see them in high definition, but they actively reinterpret them. Today, we are going to unpack the neuroscience of cognitive dissonance, the trap of the sunk cost fallacy, and how to finally trust your perception without drowning in self-doubt. Let's get into it. We need to start by defining our terms. The phrase red flag gets thrown around constantly on the internet. People will say, he doesn't like dogs, that is a red flag. Or, she takes 2 hours to get ready, massive red flag. Those are not red flags, those are preferences. Those are human flaws. A flaw is being messy, a flaw is being a bit forgetful, a flaw is being grumpy before morning coffee. A red flag is a behavioral pattern that signals potential harm, deep instability, or fundamental incompatibility. It is not a quirk, it is a warning siren. Examples of true red flags include chronic inconsistency. They treat you like royalty on Saturday and act like a stranger on Tuesday. Lack of accountability. When you bring up a hurt feeling, they immediately flip it to make you the villain. They never say, I am sorry, I was wrong. The crazy ex narrative. Every single person in their past was toxic or crazy, meaning they take zero responsibility for their relationship history. Boundary testing. You say no to something small, and they push, guilt, or tease you until you cave. But here is the trick. Red flags rarely appear dramatically on date one. They do not show up with a neon sign. They appear subtly. They are sprinkled into otherwise charming behavior, and that is exactly what makes them so easy to ignore. So you spot the flag. Why does your brain immediately try to hide it? The answer lies in one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. It is called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance happens when your mind is forced to hold two conflicting beliefs at the exact same time. Belief A, this person makes me feel amazing. They are so attractive, and I want this to work. Belief B, this person just lied to me about where they were last night. Your brain hates this conflict. It physically stresses the nervous system. To reduce the psychological discomfort, your brain has to eliminate one of those beliefs. And because belief A, the fantasy, the chemistry, the hope, feels so good, your brain usually attacks belief B, the reality. So your mind starts a PR campaign to excuse the bad behavior. Maybe I am just overthinking because of my past trauma. They didn't mean it like that. I am probably being too sensitive. They are just under a lot of stress at work right now. And just like that, the red flag disappears. You have successfully gaslit yourself to protect the fantasy of the relationship. We also have to look at the lens you are wearing. Your attachment style dictates exactly which red flags you will tolerate and which ones you will ignore. If you have an anxious attachment style, your core wound is the fear of abandonment. You are highly empathetic. So when you see a red flag like emotional unavailability or anger, you reframe it as a project. You think, they are just broken. If I love them hard enough, I can heal them. You tolerate inconsistency because your nervous system associates unpredictability with passion. You focus entirely on their potential, completely ignoring their reality. You work harder when things feel unstable. If you have an avoidant attachment style, your core wound is the fear of engulfment. You might ignore completely different red flags. If a partner is emotionally disconnected or secretive, an avoidant person might actually like that. They think, great, they won't demand too much of me. They downplay major connection issues and detach instead of addressing the problem. Different patterns, but the exact same outcome. The truth gets minimized to maintain the status quo. Let us look at a real-world scenario. We will talk about Madeline. Madeline is a 32-year-old project manager living in Bristol. She is smart, highly organized, and usually very logical. She started dating a man named David. David was incredibly charismatic. He swept her off her feet. But within the first month, Madeline noticed early signs. He canceled their weekend plans twice at the very last minute. He completely avoided serious conversations. If she asked about his 5-year plan, he would make a joke and change the subject. He gave highly vague answers about his past relationships. Madeline felt a knot in her stomach. Her intuition was screaming. But David was so attentive when they were together. He bought her thoughtful gifts. He made her laugh until she cried. So she deployed the excuses. She told herself, he is just really busy building his career. I need to be understanding. He will open up eventually once he trusts me. Months later, the exact same patterns intensified. The canceled plans turned into disappearing for days at a time. The jokes turned into cruel sarcasm. Nothing about his behavior changed. The only thing that changed was Madeline's level of investment. She was now in deep, and leaving felt impossible. Madeline's story brings us to the hardest part of the equation. Once we realize the red flags are real, why do we stay? Why do we hold on? There are 4 massive psychological anchors keeping you stuck. 1. The sunk cost fallacy, investment. This is an economic principle that applies perfectly to love. It says that the more time, money, or emotion we invest in something, the harder it is to abandon it. You think, I have already given this person 2 years of my life. If I leave now, I wasted all that time. So you stay and waste a 3rd year. 2. Hope, the potential trap. You are dating the person they could be, not the person they are. You remember the good moments from the first month and treat that as their true self, treating the current bad behavior as a temporary phase. 3. Intermittent reinforcement, chemistry. When the relationship is good, it feels euphoric. When it is bad, it is agonizing. This hot and cold dynamic is highly addictive to the human brain. You stay to chase the high of the good days. 4. Fear, scarcity. A quiet voice whispers, what if I don't find anyone better? What if this is the best I can get? You choose the familiar pain over the terrifying unknown. So instead of leaving, we adjust. We lower our standards, we tolerate, we wait. How do we break this cycle? How do we train ourselves to see the flag, acknowledge it, and walk away? Here is your protocol. 1. Trust your somatic reaction. The body knows. Before your brain can rationalize the bad behavior, your body will react. Pay attention to sudden tension in your jaw, a dropping feeling in your stomach, or a sudden spike in your heart rate when they say something slightly off. Your body processes threats faster than your conscious mind. Trust the physical discomfort. 2. Look for patterns, not exceptions. Anyone can make a mistake. A mistake requires an apology and change behavior. But one good moment does not cancel out a repeated pattern of disrespect. If they lie to you 3 times, the truth is that they are a liar. Do not let one sweet text erase a week of neglect. 3. Separate potential from reality. Write this down and put it on your mirror. Who they are right now matters infinitely more than who they could potentially be in 5 years. You cannot build a relationship with a ghost of the future. You have to date the reality standing in front of you. 4. The best friend audit. When they do something confusing, imagine your best friend came to you and described the exact same behavior from their partner. What advice would you give your friend? We are brilliantly objective when it comes to others and terribly blind when it comes to ourselves. Take your own advice. 5. Act early. This is the golden rule of dating. The longer you stay, the harder the concrete sets. If you see a fundamental incompatibility or a glaring red flag in month 1, walk away. Do not wait for month 6 to see if it gets better. It never gets better. The beginning is always them on their best behavior. I want you to take out your journal tonight. Reflect on these questions with absolute, unflinching honesty. What specific red flags have I ignored in the past? What stories or excuses did I tell myself to justify staying in those situations? Do I genuinely trust my intuition, or do I constantly override my gut feeling to keep the peace? What am I truly afraid will happen if I walk away the moment I see a red flag? I want to leave you with a final thought to carry with you. You do not ignore red flags because you are stupid. You do not ignore them because you are completely unaware. You ignore them because you have a huge, beautiful heart, and something deep inside you desperately wants the connection to work. You want to see the good in people, but seeing the good in someone should never require you to turn a blind eye to the bad. Awareness without action is just self-betrayal. This is Love Science Today. I am Kehinde Ojo. Until next time, do not just see clearly, act clearly. Thank you for listening to Love Science Today. I hope this episode gave you something meaningful to think about. If you learned something, share it with someone who may benefit. Remember that love is not random. It is a pattern you can understand and choose with intention. Join me again for the next episode as we continue exploring the science and soul of real connection. Stay thoughtful, stay open, take care of your heart.